Do you know what actually caused this just yet?
Well, Thomas, that is the question that investigators are still trying to answer tonight. It appears that this explosion originated right behind me in an empty business at about noontime today. And as you can see, the surrounding debris field is massive. What's the harm? Well, your license contains this unique number. It is a piece of personal information protected by law, and in the wrong hands can do some serious damage. If you've been missing mail for more than 7 days, the next place you might want to look is on the Postal Office's website. You'll probably leave your car right here in the long-term parking garage. We trust that airports are secure and under constant surveillance, but one woman's experience here is raising real concerns about how this garage is monitored and if there are video surveillance cameras throughout this lot.
CBS 12 investigative reporter Danielle Waugh is live at the Jupiter Police Department with this very large breaking news. Danielle.
Explosive news, and the Jupiter police chief acknowledged this is shocking to him as it is shocking to the community, shocking to the nation, in fact, that Patriots owner Robert Kraft is now caught up in this multi-county massive bust of human trafficking. They say that Robert Kraft was recorded on video going into that Orchids of Asia day spa in Jupiter last month. At this press conference that just wrapped up moments ago, police began by distributing this list of 25 names. These are 25 men that will soon be facing charges for soliciting prostitution. They say that they've been working this case for several months now, and we're told that the surveillance of this specific day spa took place in mid-January. That would mean that they allegedly caught Robert Kraft inside of this day spa right around the same time of the AFC Championship game. But they said there is no doubt about this name, Robert Kraft. They confirmed multiple times it is the Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots.
Before you hire a moving company, you're supposed to do your research. But the Florida Attorney General is warning about some deceptive businesses, and customers say reading the reviews won't be enough.
Yeah, CBS 12 investigates. Danielle Waugh helped one woman on the Treasure Coast to get back her belongings that she says were being held hostage.
When we met Denise Coffer, she had an empty home and no one to turn to. She claims a moving company was holding her belongings for ransom, and we found she's hardly alone.
Beautiful neighborhood, nice and quiet.
Denise Coffer found a nice new home, but she was missing.
This is it, empty as can be.
Everything that was supposed to be inside.
It's a nightmare, it really is. It's very heartbreaking.
Coffer says a moving company had been holding her furniture hostage. An issue that started in August when she hired Apex Moving and Storage to take items out of a storage facility in New Jersey to her new home on the Treasure Coast.
It looked like a legitimate business.
She says Apex originally quoted the move at about $2,000, but in this invoice, they raised it to more than $3,000. When the moving truck arrived at the storage facility, Coffer was out of town. A manager let the movers in and snapped this photo. Coffer says once the movers saw her stuff, the company dramatically inflated the estimated cost of the job.
The day that they called and said it was an $8,000 job, my husband told him don't touch the stuff.
But it was too late.
I've cried myself to sleep many nights.
Months later,
is this Apex?
She was still waiting.
Hi, this is Denise Coffer.
Her case, we found, is similar to many others. CBS 12 News Investigates uncovered 18 other complaints about Apex filed with the Florida Attorney General's office.
I hope they get what's coming to them.
One of them is from Jacqueline Smith.
I think that it's one of the most deplorable things I've ever seen a company do. That's my stuff on the back of the truck.
She moved from Manhattan to Port St. Lucie. Her initial quote from Apex was around $3,000. It wasn't until after the truck was loaded that she got a surprise, a bill around $6,000, double the amount she agreed to.
This is highway robbery. This is so wrong on so many levels.
The Florida Attorney General thought so too. She filed a lawsuit against Apex, calling the Miami-based company deceptive, alleging they provide lowball estimates, then extort higher fees by holding consumers' property hostage. The company's owner, Yehoshua Vaknin, runs a number of moving companies out of the same South Florida location. The AG claims they use names substantially similar to the names used by other long-established carriers.
I mean, I have a lot of stuff.
Coffer thinks that's how she was tricked and why she read good reviews about Apex.
They had great reviews. You know, great comments, 5 stars.
Smith saw them too.
They seem very legit.
There's nothing illegal going on here.
We spoke to a woman named Sue. She claims to represent Apex in Florida, but would not give us her last name. Sue declined an on-camera interview, but allowed us to record a call. She denied Coffer's claim that the company held her belongings, adding,
It's something we would like to see resolved.
and after CBS 12 News Investigates started asking questions, Apex changed its tune and decided to do it for free.
I wouldn't have gotten any of this if it weren't for you guys. I mean, it's just, I feel very blessed that, you know, you guys worked very hard for me to get what I've got. Because I don't think it would have happened any other way.
Let's put your leash on, okay? Hold still.
Marge Mitchell and her dog, Tootie, are settled in their new West Palm Beach home.
Okay, don't pull, okay? Come on, let's go for a walk.
But moving here from Long Island, New York, was no walk in the park.
Come on. I wouldn't want to lose any of my personal items I've collected in 64 years, you know?
For weeks, she was missing everything from these priceless family items.
This was a note my father sent to my mother when he was leaving for Korea when they were engaged. Yes, Tootie.
To her furniture. Marge slept on this air mattress as she fought with cross-country movers to get her belongings back. She showed us her detailed inventory list, the same information cross-country movers reviewed when it gave her this estimate over the phone, about $1,300 for the move, a $500 deposit, with a remaining balance of about $880. After the movers completed their pickup came this invoice. Before they would deliver to Florida, cross-country movers demanded a new balance, more than double what she was expecting to pay.
Do you remember how that felt?
Like a brick hit me.
Raising the price after they already had her stuff. It's a tactic that seemed familiar to Marge. After watching our investigation into Apex Moving and Storage, a business the Florida Attorney General is suing.
It's a nightmare. It really is.
I feel just like that woman who was on your show. I said, I feel like now you have my furniture as a hostage and I'm a victim, but it's a different company. You know, it's a different company. It's not Apex. It's a different company.
On the surface, Apex and cross-country movers are different companies until you start digging. Their websites look a lot alike. Their emails from customer service come from the same address, a woman named Susan K. The DOT number for cross-country movers and Apex is the same. An LLC connected to both of them is registered to Yehoshua Vaknin, the defendant on this lawsuit from the Florida AG. When we showed all of this evidence to Marge,
This is Cross Country Movers. This is Apex Moving.
Oh, it's the same picture. Yeah.
it started to sink in.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had unknowingly hired Apex Moving, now operating under a new name.
It feels really like being duped twice.
CBS 12 News Investigates reached out to Apex and Susan K directly. Their attorney wrote us back, but never answered our questions about cross-country movers. So we tracked them down at this strip mall in Hollandale.
Hi.
Hi, are you the moving company?
Yes, hi, I'm hoping I can help.
Danielle, nice
Hello.
to meet you, from CBS 12?
Okay.
Are you Susan?
I am, but I've been instructed that you guys have also been instructed to speak with the attorney.
He hasn't been calling us back, so that's why we're here.
I don't know, I can like make a call and...
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay.
I was wondering about cross-country movers.
I'm not supposed to talk to you. That was in accordance to what the attorney described, so...
So are you cross-country movers
Ma'am,
too?
I just said that I'm not supposed to talk to you. You need to talk to the attorney.
He's not answering
But I'm
us.
going to ask him to call you, but we're not able to speak with you.
We just want to know how many different moving companies you're running,
I've already
the different
explained
names
to
of
you.
them.
Have a great day.
You too, Susan. While Apex won't answer our questions, they have other questions to answer in court.
We have determined it was necessary to bring legal action for deceptive and unfair trade practices.
In a one-on-one interview, Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody says Apex is one of 20 moving businesses her office is suing. They've received 90 complaints about Apex and its 7 affiliated moving companies, but the name Cross Country Movers was new to them.
We can only evaluate a claim or a complaint if we have the information, and that's why it's so great that you And people like you are drawing attention to this because it gives us an opportunity to let the public know.
If the AG wins the case against Apex, a judge could ban them from operating moving businesses. But until then, it appears they can keep opening new companies with different names.
If a company keeps opening and closing under different names and can keep this kind of swindling and way of doing business over and over again, something has to be done because, you know, somebody has to protect the consumers and seniors. Tootie, what's that?
The kids are taking over this courthouse with face painting and magic shows. But for 6-year-old Lila and her twin brother Eli, the real magic happened upstairs in a courtroom where they could bring their balloon animals and clown around, having fun while having an important hearing.
What an exciting day.
Beside them at this table,
She's talking.
is the woman about to become their mom. Adopting these rambunctious twins is Ashley Reed.
It's forever. Yes.
Her hands will be full, but so will her heart.
What are we going to do today? We're going to see the judge, and what's the judge going to do?
Give you a report so you can keep us forever and ever.
Right.
And ever.
We're going to get permission to keep you forever and ever.
Ashley has been in this seat before. She's already adopted and raised one set of twins, and she's ready to take on another.
It's just like breathing. Why wouldn't you want to?
She knows the adoption process and this particular set of twins well, because they're not just her adopted children, they're her biological grandchildren. Lila and Eli's parent relinquished custody while battling an opioid addiction.
A little sad around the edges. My situation is different than most of them. I lost a child to get these children.
These children are two of many Finding Forever Families Friday. This Palm Beach County event put on by ChildNet is part of National Adoption Day. 19 kids found forever families in this courthouse today, but there are still more than 200 children in need of adoption in Palm Beach County. They hope by sharing these adoption stories, more people will step up.
It is time to celebrate.
To give these kids a happy home and a reason to celebrate. In West Palm Beach, Danielle, Waugh, CBS 12 News.
Oh, she has her hands full with those two. They're so adorable.
It's hard to believe this picture is 1 year of progress, but consider this. Hurricane Michael left behind so much debris. Bay County has cleaned up enough to fill the entire Empire State Building, not once, but 12 times. Still, there's a long way to go. Parts of Mexico Beach look like they haven't been touched in a year. Not since Hurricane Michael swept through and took most of the city with it. Homes and businesses look abandoned. Inside this hurricane-ravaged restaurant, you'll still find table settings. Outside, it's beer bottles still spilling out onto the streets.
It's just been an uphill struggle all the way.
Those trying to rebuild Mexico Beach are hitting roadblocks.
The windows are brand new.
Bobby Pollock wants to repair his home, but he's fighting insurance and searching for contractors. Since the hurricane, he's been sleeping in an RV in his driveway.
The RV's great. Yeah, I'm blessed to have it, but I want my house.
It would be easy to leave, but Bobby decided to stay and run for office.
I can think of no place else I want to live besides here.
Finding solutions for his hometown, as complicated as they might be.
All right, good.
Al Cathy owns the only hardware store in Mexico Beach, and he's also the mayor.
The process of rebuilding is much slower than I anticipated.
He says just removing all their hurricane debris would cost the city $60 million. Impossible to pay up front when your entire annual budget is just $3 million.
We have been hanging on by a thread, and we're at the point now that our bills have gotten to a point that we are entertaining borrowing money.
Without money in their reserves or much of a tax base, Mexico Beach is at the mercy of the federal government. FEMA reimburses communities for projects like debris removal, but it's a process that can take months or even years. When a city this small gets hit with a hurricane so large, Mayor Cathy thinks FEMA should adjust its policies to provide money up front and speed up recovery.
The word expedite is not in their vocabulary. They do not understand expedite.
It seems like their reimbursement formula is built for big cities.
No question.
FEMA told us they'd be able to sit down for an interview and discuss their reimbursement process for this story. Shortly before our interview date, they canceled. In a written statement, FEMA told us every disaster is different, but the delivery process for grant reimbursement remains consistent.
The one-size-fits-all federal model is not the solution.
Bay County Manager Bob Micah says the county borrowed $250 million of the $600 million they need to rebuild. FEMA has only paid about $25 of that, leaving taxpayers on the hook for millions of dollars in interest.
I think one of the things that that I would like to see happen going forward is for FEMA to be given the authority to be more nimble and have more flexibility.
Micah says their biggest challenge is a housing crisis. The county estimates thousands of families are either homeless or in unstable housing, like Reed Garrett's.
We're still struggling. We're still very much not out of the woods, and we have a lot of people who are homeless, a lot of people who are struggling with mental health.
Their house is gutted, the foundation compromised, water still leaks inside, and his family is still fighting for insurance money. He says it's easy to feel like Bay County has been forgotten.
It wears you down, and it really takes a toll, and you just get down, get depressed.
The city just approved permits for 30 new buildings, but about 1,000 were lost in the storm. They still don't have a gas station, grocery store, or a fire station, but they're trying to focus on the future.
We're going to turn the page.
Watch your step again.
Bobby Pollock is celebrating this anniversary by moving out of the RV and getting back in to his house.
Happy, happy, happy. It's been a long time coming. I never thought it would take this long, but it's good.
In Mexico Beach, Danielle Waugh, CBS 12 News.